and welcome to the AI with Arun show, 20 billion. That is the dollar amount Nvidia just put on the table to change the future of artificial intelligence. For the last few years, Nvidia has been the undisputed king of AI. But in December 2025, they made a move that surprised everyone. They didn't just buy a competitor, they bought a whole new way of thinking. Today, we are breaking down the acquisition of Groq, why Nvidia paid such a massive premium for a startup, and why this signals the end of the training era and the beginning of something much faster. First, let's look at the breaking news. According to exclusive reports from CNBC, Nvidia has agreed to pay roughly $20 billion in cash for the assets of chip startup Groq. Now catch this detail. It's not a standard merger. It's an, quote, asset acquisition and licensing deal. Nvidia is buying the technology and hiring the key talent, including founder Jonathan Ross, but Groq, the entity, will technically remain an independent company running its cloud business. Why structure it this way? We'll get to the legal 4D chess later. But first, you need to understand why Nvidia, a company with a near monopoly, felt the need to spend this kind of money. To understand the why, we have to look at where we are in the AI timeline. For the last 3 years, we've been in what analysts call the hard hat phase. Imagine a construction site. We've been building these massive skyscrapers, which are the AI models, like GPT-4 or Claude. Building them requires heavy machinery and brute force. That's what Nvidia GPUs are famous for. But now, the building is finished. We are moving into the inference era. This is where people actually move in and use the building. The goal isn't brute force anymore. It's getting people in and out of the elevators as fast as possible. And that is where Nvidia started to see a problem. Here is the issue. Nvidia's chips are like massive buses. They are incredibly efficient if you fill every seat with 100 people and drive them to the same place. But real-world AI, like when you chat with a bot, is like a taxi service. It's just one person asking one question at a time. This is called batch size 1. When you use a massive Nvidia GPU bus to pick up just one passenger, it's expensive and surprisingly slow. This gap is called the Inference Wedge. Nvidia realized that as AI moves from training to real-time chatting, their bus architecture wasn't efficient enough for the taxi market. This brings us to the technology. On the left, we have the Nvidia GPU. It uses a probabilistic approach. Think of it like a busy highway intersection. There are traffic lights and policemen, schedulers, managing the cars. Sometimes you get through in 5 seconds. Sometimes it takes 10 because of traffic. On the right, we have Groq's invention, the LPU, or Language Processing Unit. It is deterministic. There are no traffic lights. The software plans the entire trip before the car even leaves the garage. It knows exactly where every piece of data will be at every single second. It's not traffic, it's a synchronized train schedule. Why does this matter? Because Groq removed all the hardware that manages the traffic. They don't have schedulers or arbiters on the chip. This allows for kernel-free execution. Every tick of the clock is used for calculating, not for deciding what to calculate. Because of this, Groq chips have zero tail latency. That means if a task takes 5 milliseconds today, it will take exactly 5 milliseconds next year. There is no guessing. For Nvidia, acquiring this was about buying certainty in an uncertain world. Let's talk numbers. In the world of AI, speed is measured in tokens per second. Look at this chart. On a single user request, a standard Nvidia GPU might give you 30 tokens per second. That's roughly reading speed. Groq, they can hit 300 tokens per second. That is instant. While Groq chips require a lot of units networked together because they don't use high-capacity memory, they process so fast that the cost per token drops significantly for the end user. Nvidia didn't just buy speed. They bought the ability to make AI cheaper to run. You might be thinking, do I really need my chatbot to type faster? Maybe not. But the future isn't just chatbots. Think about voice agents. If you speak to an AI and it takes 2 seconds to reply, the conversation feels awkward and broken. Groq gets that down to under 200 milliseconds. Instant, like a real human. Think about robotics. If a robot sees a wall, it can't wait 100 milliseconds to decide to stop. It needs a guaranteed, deterministic response time. That is the market Nvidia wants to own. Nvidia isn't just buying silicon, they are buying brains. Specifically, this man, Jonathan Ross. Ross is a legend in the industry. He actually invented Google's TPU, Tensor Processing Unit, before leaving to found Groq. Nvidia is bringing him and his team in-house. CEO Jensen Huang sent a memo saying the goal is to integrate Groq's processors into Nvidia's AI factory. They are taking the smartest rival off the playing field and putting him in a green jersey. Here was Groq's biggest weakness: software. To use Groq, developers had to leave Nvidia's famous CUDA ecosystem, which is used by 4 million developers. That's a hard sell. By buying Groq, Nvidia fixes this. Imagine a world where you write your code in CUDA, and the software automatically decides, okay, I'll run the heavy math on the Nvidia GPU, and I'll run the fast response on the Groq LPU. They are merging the software stack to make the hardware invisible. Now let's zoom out to the global map. This deal is also about national security. Nvidia's main GPUs are made in Taiwan by TSMC. We all know the geopolitical risks there. But Groq? Groq chips are fabricated right here in the United States using global foundries. By owning Groq, Nvidia instantly gets a sovereign AI product line, chips made in America, for America. This aligns perfectly with U.S. government interests and the Department of Energy. This is the clever part. The Department of Justice is currently investigating Nvidia for antitrust violations. A full merger would likely be blocked, so they did an asset acquisition. Groq technically survives as a small, independent company running its cloud service. Nvidia argues they just licensed the tech and hired the people. It's a legal loophole designed to get the deal done without waiting years for regulatory approval. With Groq absorbed, who is left to fight Nvidia? We have Cerebras, but they focus on massive scientific experiments. We have Sambanova, focused on enterprise data, but Groq was the only one winning the consumer speed battle. By taking out Groq, Nvidia has effectively neutralized its fastest threat in the large language model space. They have cleared the board. So what does the future computer look like? It's not just GPUs anymore. It is heterogeneous. We are going to see server racks that have Nvidia Blackwell GPUs on the bottom for heavy lifting, and Groq LPUs on the top for instant responses. It's a hybrid engine. Nvidia can now offer the complete package, the heavy lifter and the sprinter, in one box. To summarize, why did Nvidia spend $20 billion? 4 reasons. 1. Tech. They got the world's fastest inference engine. 2. Economics. They solved the empty bus problem for single users. 3. Talent. They secured the team that built Google's TPU. 4. Geopolitics. They bought a supply chain that doesn't rely on Taiwan. I'll leave you with this analogy. Think of Nvidia's GPUs like a freight train. Unstoppable power, carrying massive loads. Think of Groq like a Formula One car, designed to move one person instantly. Until yesterday, Nvidia only owned the train. Now they own the Formula One team too. What do you think? Will the regulators let this deal slide, or is this too much power for one company? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the chip wars. Please support our work by joining us as a member. You will see the link on how to become a member at the bottom of the video description. Please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show. Thanks for watching. We will be back soon.